Welcome or welcome back to my channel. You're given a question and provided with the formula distance equals speed times time. But then the next question asks for speed and the next question asks for time. How do you rearrange the formula? Let's get into it right now.
It's like every day.
Here is a great way to work out your distance, your speed, and your time. So if you look at this formula that I have here, set in a triangle, which is very handy because you have the distance at the top and then you have the speed and the time next to each other. What does this all mean? Okay, so here we have this horizontal line here, and this represents the division. So distance over speed, distance over time, or distance divided by speed, distance divided by time. This vertical line here would represent multiplication. So speed times time, right? So if you had a question to do with distance, right? So distance would equal speed times time. So let's put that there. Speed times time, right? If you had a question to do with speed, then what would that be, right? So you can cover it up if you want, right? And that would give you the indication of what the calculation would be. So speed would equal distance divided by time, right? So let's put that there just to give us a little reminder. And then if you had a question regarding time, what would that be? That would be distance divided by speed, right? So it all pans out with this little formula here, which gives you exactly what to do, just in case you wasn't sure. Oh my gosh, if I had a question involving time, what would my formula be? So everything is here, which will give you a good indication. So if we was to put this in an example, let's have a look at this question here. So John runs at 8 miles an hour. If he ran for only 4 hours, how far did he run? You can probably do that mentally, but for the sake of the video, we're going to use the formula up here. So what is the question asking for? How far did he run? So it wants distance, right? So right now, so we're going to use distance equals what? Speed times time, right? And then we just put all the numbers in. So how far did he run? If he runs at 8 miles an hour, so that's 8, and he ran for 4 hours. This is a very simple one. 8 times 4, that would give us, he ran 32 miles per hour, right? Sometimes speed is rate. So just in case you've heard of distance, rate, and time, rate is also what we use for speed. So here's another question for you. What will be your average speed in miles per hour if you travel 15 miles in 2.5 hours? So what are they asking for here? They're asking for your speed. Okay, so what formula will we use? So speed equals distance divided by time. So let's give ourselves a reminder here. Speed equals distance divided by time. Okay, so if we was to input the information, what would we put, right? So 15 miles is your distance, and that's going to be divided by the time. Now, because the time is 2.5 hours, we have to convert this time into minutes, right? So 2 hours and 30 minutes, because a half hour is 30, that would give us 150 minutes, right? So we have to use minutes in order to get that calculation going. So if we were to put it like this, right? 15 divided by 150, 15 over 150, it's the same, right? So if we was to reduce this fraction now, right? Because fraction, same thing. This horizontal line still means division. We haven't changed it in any way, right? So that will give us 15 into itself goes 1 time. 15 into 150 goes 10 times. So we have 1/10. What does that mean, 1/10, right? So in other words, you have 10 minutes, because remember time was at the bottom. So in 10 minutes, you traveled 1 mile. But, right, so the question's asking, what's your average speed if you travel 15 miles in 2.5 hours? So that means in 60 minutes, you would travel 6 miles. So remember, time is at the bottom. So if you travel in 10 minutes, you travel 1 mile. So in 60 minutes, you would travel 6 miles. There you go. And here's an example of a time question. If Jace was traveling at 30 miles an hour, how long would it take him to travel 70 miles? So because it's asking for time, so let's put time equals. So according to up here, it would be distance divided by speed. So after we put or, you can put it like this, sorry, you can put it like that, distance divided by speed like that. So let's put all our information in. So we would have time, and I'm going to do it like this, equals 70 miles, because that's the distance, divided by the speed, which is 30. So here we have it like a fraction, right? But it's still division. 30 into 70. How many times does 30 go into 70? Well, it goes 2 times. That will give us 60. And then what will be left over? You'll have 10 over 30 left, right? Obviously, we have to reduce that, right? So 10 goes into itself once. 10 goes into 30 3 times. So here we have 2 1/3 hours, but who says 2 1/3 hours? So we have to put it back into proper understanding of time, right? So what is 1/3 of an hour? So it's easy to work out here. 1/3 of an hour is the same as saying 1/3 of 60. All right. So 3 goes into itself once. How many times does 3 go into 60? It goes 20 times. Right? So 1 times 20 of means multiplication. So 1 times 20 is 20. So this whole time then is 2 hours and 20 minutes. So what do you think of this diagram, and do you think it will help you to remember it? Like, comment and subscribe with that notification bell so you know every time I upload, which is every Wednesday. And I'll see you next time in another math video. Thank you for watching. Class dismissed.